Hi, I'm Susan Gorin, Chair of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, and I'm so glad that you chose to listen in on the interview today, 5 Questions with Bert Whitaker, Director of Sonoma County Regional Parks. Bert, thanks for joining us today. And as we prepare, and actually almost through the summer, everyone is flocking to our parks to cool off, to recreate, and to get some space. So let's talk about parks during this pandemic. It seems like the pandemic has shown how important parks are for our community, certainly our mental health. How have you seen that?
Now, thank you, Supervisor Gorin. And there's no question about the importance of our parks during this pandemic. As humans, we instinctively turn to nature for healing and solace, and our parks are offering a break during these challenging times. And being outdoors on the trails helps us sustain our physical and mental health, as you point out. And we're in this new world. We're navigating more time on the screen. We're seeing fewer and fewer people, and that time outdoors is really it's a big deal. And in the parks, we're seeing record numbers of visitors over this summer. All too often, weekdays in the parks feel like busy weekends, and our coastal and our Russian River parks are just unbelievably popular. It makes sense. I mean, with so many indoor community resources closed, like our libraries and our theaters and our malls, and of course the gym, our parks and outdoor spaces are one of the few destinations available to everyone to get outside. So it's serving a critical purpose right now for the community.
We want our community to be safe when they are visiting our parks. What are the strategies or changes your department has made to help keep the public safe as they visit our local parks?
Yes, fantastic question. And this is a big deal. It's been our top priority. And the good news is, being outdoors allows for individuals and households to enjoy some free time in what's really a very low risk setting. In the parks themselves, since reopening, we've installed a significant number of bilingual signs, educating visitors on safe trail use. We've been actively sharing a lot of info through social media and videos and really every type of outreach we can get to educate folks. And there's been a number of changes in how we actually operate the parks. Of course, cleaning those restrooms more often. We've got more trash to remove. In the last few weeks, we've actually installed about 30 free mask dispensers through the parks for those individuals who showed they didn't have one. And if you come to camp with us, prior to your arrival, you're going to get an informational guide on COVID-safe camping, because we really want you to have that quality time with your family, but be safe in doing so. And then, of course, there are some facilities like playgrounds and picnic areas. We have had to close them, but really that's all to encourage behaviors of discouraging large groups. Right now is the time to go out there and with your household and to just keep your space. So I'm also happy to report we've got, come visit our website at sonomacountyparks.org. And there's real-time updates on park access, and we're actually about 1 week into having our park rangers put updates out via Twitter when we see parking lots closed, especially those facilities where folks are having to drive. Want to avoid getting out there and being disappointed by showing up to a park with no parking spots.
I've heard reports from the community that our parks are potentially being overloved. And for those who want to go to our parks, what should they do to maintain a safe environment for themselves and for others and for all of us?
Yes, great question. And this is super important. The number one priority in the parks right now is give everybody space. Our trails can get quite busy, so spread out. Do your best to stay 6 feet from others. The more distance, the better. Bring a mask. I keep mine on me at all times. Wear it if others are around. This protects other visitors, but their actions are also protecting you. And of course, if you show up and the park is crowded, choose a different trail, come back a different time when the parking lot's not filled. Weekdays are definitely less busy, and morning hours are really a spectacular time to get outside and start your day. So, of course, we also ask if you please don't visit a park if you're having any symptoms of COVID-19. Good idea to always bring some soap or hand sanitizer if you need to use the restroom or need to touch any surfaces out there in the park. And please, help keep our parks clean and sanitary for everyone. Those little doggy bags of waste, put them in the trash, please. Energy bar wrappers, pack them out with you. We want to keep the park safe and clean for everybody to enjoy.
I love when I'm in the parks that I see more families and certainly members of our Latinx community enjoying our parks. It is a healthy way to move forward in the age of COVID. But there are those who are still hesitant to use the parks. What do you say to them?
Yes, it's a question that comes up fairly frequently, and the health professionals are telling us that the risk of COVID transmission outdoors is extremely low if you're walking alone in a park or visiting with your household members and keeping your distance from others. Simply passing a stranger outdoors along a trail has not been attributed to any significant spread of the disease. So that's why it's really important that when we get outdoors, we protect ourselves and each other, with just really following the key health guidance that's been established of, distance, the more, the better. Always bring a mask, wear it if others are around. And as I said earlier, when that lot is full, go to a different park, come back at a different time, or maybe that's just a day to explore your neighborhood and get some exercise and fresh air somewhere other than the park. But if we can all stick together and follow these recommendations consistently, we're doing our part to slow the spread of COVID-19 in Sonoma County, and that is what is needed.
We are anxious during the pandemic, and what helps me to maintain an even keel is to appreciate others around me. Could you share an example where you've seen people helping one another or supporting park rangers or parks personnel during this pandemic?
Yeah, we are very happy to see a significant increase over the past month in the number of visitors wearing a mask in the parks and really sharing the trails responsibly. That is a shift. At the beginning of the pandemic, it seemed, our visitors weren't always sure how to use a face covering. They didn't always understand how to maintain distance on trails and in parking lots because they all come in all different shapes and sizes. But we're seeing a much better use of masks, a much better understanding. And personally, my favorite instance of really the visitors helping each other out is this, cheering each other on. If you go out there and take a walk in the park wearing your mask, you're likely to get courtesy thank yous from many of those other visitors. We're all living through this together, and it feels good. And I would encourage everyone, if you're out there in the parks and you see someone wearing a mask, just give them a quick thank you and a nod. Also, I would say, please help keep our staff safe, our park rangers, our park personnel. And if you have a question, that's great, but please wear your mask if you're approaching the park staff. Always, help the park by keeping the trash at bay and taking it with you. And real important here, we're seeing lots and lots of new park visitors. So please plan ahead. If you're exploring one of our large open space parks that's new to you, bring lots of water, have a map. We don't want you getting lost out there. We don't want you having an emergency on a trail. It's no fun for everyone. So please plan ahead and take your time to really become informed or ask staff on how you can safely enjoy that open space park.
And I know we're in for periods of hot weather this weekend and further on into the fall. We always do as the seasons change. I think it's really important to visit our parks in the early morning to avoid dehydration and sun exposure. Thank you, Bert Whitaker, for being with us today for the 5 Questions with Susan. Thank you to all of the park rangers and the park personnel and all of the other folks working in our parks department, helping to create a very safe, enriching, and enjoyable experience for our community. So if you want to get more information on COVID-19, please visit socoemergency.org or call our information hotline 211. See you next time.